In the wastelands of the multiverse, where beings can rise to the heights of heaven or fall to the depths of hell, there are two beings who belong to neither. One is a rage turned to fire, the other a spirit that rewrote creation. This is a confrontation between a spirit of judgment and a creature of hell, fire versus fear, Ghost Rider versus Spawn. Johnny Blaze was once just a reckless stuntman until he made the biggest gamble of his life, making a pact with Mephisto to save his father. But deals with evil always come at a terrible price. His body became a prison for Zarathos, the ancient spirit of vengeance, and Johnny's soul burned away. When night falls and sin rises, Rider awakens. But Zarathos is more than fire and rage. An ancient god of punishment, he predates the religions of mankind, feared by angels and demons alike. Some say he was once a fallen angel, banished when he grew too powerful. The Ghost Rider is the embodiment of judgment, a curse bound to mortals. Spawn, once known as Al Simmons, a military assassin betrayed by the government. When he died in despair, he offered his soul to Malebolgia, the lord of the eighth circle of hell. But when he returned, he was no longer human. He became a hellspawn, a weapon created to start the end of the world. But Spawn broke the chains, killed Malebolgia, and challenged both heaven and hell. He ate the forbidden fruit of Eden, confronted God and Satan, and rewrote the entire universe, trapping both in the void beyond time. He did not reject the law. He was the one who rewrote it, and turned himself into the ink that wrote every page of the Book of Truth. In terms of destructive power, Ghost Rider's hellfire not only burns the body, but also incinerates the soul. He once vaporized the devil, clashed with the World War Hulk and held the balance, confronted Mephisto, an entity that could control a hellish dimension the size of the entire multiverse. And that was just its basic form. When Johnny Blaze or Frank Castle became the cosmic Ghost Rider, they possessed the power cosmic, the energy source that Galactus used to create heralds like the Silver Surfer. With this power, Ghost Rider could bend reality, control matter, perceive the universe, and become a multiversal level threat, immortal on the conceptual level. Frank Castle once destroyed the entire Marvel universe. This universe consists of many layers of reality, with hell being a transdimensional void, far beyond the basic world and home to abstract entities. He destroyed the Celestials with just a thought once confronted King Thanos, the one who defeated Galactus, Odin, and the Silver Surfer. Meanwhile, Spawn's power has surpassed all Hell's limits after absorbing the full power of Malebolgia, who can destroy billions of dimensions. Spawn controls an endless realm of existence in the eighth circle of hell, each level bottomless and limitless. He once created entities such as the anti-hell Spawn Redeemer, who was given power by heaven from the primordial creative energy, or Urizen, a pre-cosmic god whose presence drove the gods mad, whom both heaven and hell had to unite to seal. But in the end, Spawn still destroyed him. He once confronted the one who used anti-creation energy to wipe out the entire star system. His final form combined with the Mother of Existence, the entity that gave birth to God, Satan, and countless universes. Spawn not only destroyed the legions, he destroyed the concept of duality, pushing heaven and hell aside to become the creator of balance. In terms of speed, Ghost Rider has chased speedsters across space, traveled across dimensions. Cosmic Ghost Rider flies faster than light, travels through time, and is not bound by linear motion. His reflexes are on par with Silver Surfer and Thor, capturing entities moving at the speed of light or faster, even reacting to interdimensional threats. Spawn counters attacks at the speed of light with absolute precision, dodges angels shooting at the speed of light, avoids time-manipulating attacks. When he reaches divine Spawn form, he transcends the concept of speed, on par with entities like the Mother of Existence, who exists beyond all time and dimensions. He is not only fast, he does not need to move. In terms of durability and regeneration, Ghost Rider cannot die. Even if his body is destroyed, he returns. Even if his soul is torn apart, Zarathos is resurrected. He has withstood the attacks of Skyfathers like Odin, survived planetary explosions, and resisted the manipulation of his soul by Mephisto. In his cosmic form, he has survived being thrown through stars, black holes, and the explosions of Galactus-level entities. He has no soul to be erased. He is vengeance, an idea that cannot be killed. In contrast, Spawn's body has been crushed to dust, broken through dimensions, erased by anti-creation energy. and still returned stronger. After merging with the mother of existence, he became a metaphysical equilibrium. To destroy him, it was necessary to erase all concepts of reality. Both are immortal, both have transcended death, only ideas remain. In terms of abilities, Ghost Rider possesses the penance stare, a gaze that causes the opponent to experience all their sins forever. This skill has been effective on gods, demons, and cosmic entities. The Hellfire Chain burns even the soul. The Power Cosmic grants him the ability to bend reality, resurrect, travel in time, and manipulate matter at the atomic level. He can imprison and judge entities beyond mortal perception. Spawn is like a cosmic toolkit that manipulates time, erases souls, weaponizes sin, controls the five senses, rewrites memories, creates illusions, stops time, summons the legions of hell, distorts space, controls the elements, and becomes 100 times stronger with each heartbeat. After merging with the Mother of Existence, he holds every imaginable ability. Ghost Rider brings punishment. Spawn is the embodiment of destiny. If the two were to face off, Ghost Rider's penance stare is a terrifying curse that would make the entire universe scream. But Spawn's soul has been torn apart, reformed, and forged in the fire of creation. Ghost Rider's hellfire burns even immaterial entities, but Spawn can manipulate souls, absorbing and corrupting that very fire. Ghost Rider holds the power of time and reality, but Spawn transcends cause and effect, able to erase the very concept of an opponent's existence. However, Spawn's soul-based skills have difficulty affecting a vengeful spirit who is not bound by mortal perception. Ghost Rider once resisted Doctor Strange. Spawn can penetrate and overwhelm, but Ghost Rider is a symbol of judgment, and no one can erase judgment. Only face it. The ground split under his burning wheels. The light of hellfire illuminated the devastated space, accompanied by the cries of burned souls. He did not enter the battle as a warrior, but as a judgment upon the world. The chains spun in his hands, creating a blood-red halo in the void, a warning that none would escape judgment. Every step he took distorted the space, causing the surrounding reality to flow like molten lava. Spawn rose. Darkness filled the air, and from the thick smoke, a being stepped forth, the majestic form of a war god in the guise of hell. His cloak stretched endlessly, undulating like the twisted souls of the damned. In his hand was a broken spear, a remnant of the battle between gods and demons. There was no voice, no cry, only a silent, destructive presence. He was the end of a chapter that had been burned. Space cracked like shattered glass, and each of their movements distorted the entire dimension. Ghost Rider charged at speeds beyond light, his chains coiled around Spawn like a fiery serpent. But Spawn did not retreat. He raised his hand, and with a flick, the chains froze in time. Not because of his speed, but because his will had transcended the control of cause and effect. Spawn looked into Ghost Rider's eyes, and in that moment, they saw not only each other, but themselves, reflected in the fragments of a forgotten universe. Ghost Rider used the penance stare, a gaze that would bring even the cosmic entity to its knees, but Spawn did not bow. For his soul was no longer a mere soul. It was a compound of sacrifice, betrayal, redemption, and creation. The sins he bore were no longer burdens, they were the fuel that transformed him into a god. Ghost Rider's hellfire poured down on Spawn, but instead of burning it, it was absorbed, merging into his cloak as if it had been part of him all along. Spawn raised his hand. A dark light tore through reality. It was not an attack, but an affirmation that the rules had changed. It distorted the senses, forcing Ghost Rider to confront his past. But Zarathos was unmoved. He had no past. He is the embodiment of vengeance, without beginning or end. Time has no value to him. The war no longer takes place in space, it takes place in concept. Ghost Rider summons a storm of souls, blue flames that fill the sky, burning millions of dimensions at once. Each flame contains billions of cries of condemned souls, but Spawn stands there, motionless as a statue, his eyes silently absorbing each drop of fire, as if swallowing the world's judgment. From his hands, the cracks of reality open, revealing a portal to the boundary where creation and destruction merge. He summons the image of the Mother of Existence, not to ask for power, but as a declaration that he is the end result of all creation. Ghost Rider delivers the final blow, a chain of fire that twists through time, crushing the will of the gods, enveloping everything that exists. But Spawn does not break it. He does not dodge. He absorbed it. He made the chain part of his cloak, And in the next heartbeat, he doubled his power 100-fold. From being struck, he became the center of reality, and from there, all sense of victory was erased. The universe around him disintegrated. Stars were crushed to dust, time contracted like a burning thread. On a battlefield where all physical laws were meaningless, the two entities continued to collide. Ghost Rider swung his fiery chains into space, cutting through the layers of space like a knife cutting through the veil of reality. Each blow was a declaration of judgment, causing even the creatures hiding in the 12th dimension to tremble. But Spawn was not the prey, he was the end of the hunt. Spawn turned, his left hand drawing a circle of black light like a biological black hole. From the center, the molecules began to restructure into the form of a primal soul born from Ghost Rider's own memories, sins, and fears. Instead of attacking him, Spawn used his opponent's very being as raw material to rebuild the battlefield. The scene before Ghost Rider was a twisted version of himself, a rider without purpose, wandering in a void where vengeance had no one to judge. But Ghost Rider was not lost. Zarathos roared, and his entire being burned with pure white fire, the fire that had once consumed the original soul. He was more than vengeance. He was the final cleansing of all wrongs. With each step, his fire spilled out, devouring the illusions Spawn had created, releasing the distorted memories and returning them to their original form. Ghost Rider rode straight through time, charging into Spawn at a speed that crushed the notion of before and after beneath his wheels. All senses were gone. The only sense left was will. The will to survive, the will to destroy, and the will to transcend creation. Spawn was pushed back for the first time. His cloak tore, revealing cracked skin that glowed like the core of a nebula. But instead of rotting, the cracks grew into a living network, a new biological system that connected him to all of reality. Spawn did not resist. He spread his arms wide, and, like a being of the mother, he merged with the core of the universe. In a breath, the billion voices that rang out in Ghost Rider's head were not the voices of lamenting souls, but the voices of every concept being judged. We do not need vengeance, we are reborn. In that moment, Ghost Rider realized judgment was necessary, but rebirth was inevitable. Zarathos roared, denying that truth. He intensified his flames, burning the space around him into a vacuum. The rings of fire formed the ancient symbols of guilt, responsibility, and judgment. But Spawn responded by dissolving his own soul into every molecule around him, erasing the very concept of opponent. He no longer fought the Ghost Rider. He became the medium, the principle. He turned himself into the principle of reformation. The Ghost Rider could not fight something that had no form. He knelt. For the first time in countless centuries, the flames of vengeance diminished in intensity, not because of weakness, but because of justice. Because when darkness is no longer an enemy, the light has no reason to attack. Spawn did not kill the Ghost Rider. He granted Zarathos the unforgivable. And in that moment, the Ghost Rider did not disappear, but he stepped back. The flames died, not in defeat, but in acceptance. In the battle between two demons, the winner was divine Spawn.